Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are already part of the family, for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Kiara Selena and this is my channel Nursing with Key, where I mainly make nursing videos showing you tips and tricks that I've learned along my nursing journey to help you guys have the smoothest nursing journey. But we just recently started incorporating a bit of hair and beauty, so if you are into those things, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you won't miss another video from me again. So I personally think today's video is going to be very fun. I'm actually excited to do this video, and I'm also really excited to announce that this video is a collaboration with one of my favorite nurses, who I know is one of your favorite nurses, and her name is Your Fave Nurse B. For those of you who are not familiar with her channel, she has a super dope channel. She's been an LPN for years, and I've been subscribed to her for over a year now. Like I've been subscribed to her since before I started my YouTube channel, so I'm actually really excited to be doing a collab with her. So the title of today's video is Are You That Nurse? Dun dun dun. So I know you guys are wondering, like, what do you mean, like, are you that nurse? Like, you want to know what that nurse is, and that's what we're about to find out. So we came up with a bunch of questions. I'm not even gonna lie, she came up with most of it, but I added some questions in here, and I'm going to read out the questions and I'm going to tell you guys if I did or didn't. So it's kind of like a never have I ever type of game to try to figure out if I am that nurse. All right, y'all know I'm blind now and I'm reading off my computer, so I'm gonna read out the questions now. I can't see nothing without my glasses. So the first question is, have you ever heard another nurse complaining about something a nurse did and you realized you were the one that did it and you didn't say nothing about it? Y'all. No, I've never done that. Like, usually I admit to my mistakes, especially if it's not like a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just admit and say that I'm the one who made the mistake. Like, I could take the heat for it. Like, all right, whatever. Like, give me a warning, or, you know, just tell me what you have to tell me. Tell me, like, not to make that mistake again. And, like, cool, I won't make the mistake again. And I just kind of, like, move past it. Like, I'm not gonna sit down and watch somebody else get the blame for something I did. That's messed up, y'all. Don't do that. Next question. Have you ever left your job without giving report to the oncoming nurse because they were late or because you wanted to leave early? No. Where I work, I can't even really do that because it's one nurse per shift. So it's very rare that you have two nurses, because the facility that I work at is like, most of the people are independent, right? The only thing I really have to do is make sure that, like, you know, I follow up on whatever the doctor ordered for them. So if they have like a wound dressing that they have to have at a certain time, I do that, and I make sure that they get their meds and that they're taking their drops and stuff. It's a very laid back first job. Honestly, I like it. I know it would be boring to others, but I like it. But because it's so laid back and because the patients aren't sick necessarily, there's only the need for one nurse. Like, one nurse can handle the unit. So I'm the only nurse in the building, and so I can't just leave until the other nurse comes, because then that would be neglect. That would be neglecting my patients, and that would go on my record, and that's just a no for me. And honestly, most times, like, the nurses that I work with, they've been there for so long that sometimes they come an hour before their shift even starts, and then I kind of get to leave early. So, have you ever lied to a patient about calling the doctor? Okay. Yes. But let me explain. It's not necessarily that I didn't lie to them and tell them that I did call the doctor, but I have said that I will call the doctor, even though I know that I'm not necessarily going to call the doctor, depending on the time of day, right? So if it's like, if somebody rings the call bell at like 10 o'clock at night and they tell me that, you know, I don't know, they have like, I don't know, hip pain or something, and I know that they have like, I could see that they have Tylenol PRN, and I could give them the Tylenol PRN. I'm not about to start calling the doctor at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night to prescribe pain medication unless I see that the person is like seriously like in distress, like cannot sleep, cannot move, debilitating pain. But if somebody calls me like, oh yeah, I have hip pain, like I want to see the doctor, well, like, or I want to talk to the doctor, I'm not about to ring up the doctor's office or the doctor's phone number and wake them up out of their sleep with their family at 10 o'clock at night so that they can prescribe a pain medication. So like sometimes I'll say, yes, I will call the doctor, but I won't call the doctor. I'll give them their PRN meds, but I'll leave a note, or like if I'm working overnight, I'll tell the day nurse what happened and like write it down in the patient's chart, and then I'll have the day nurse call the doctor if she has time during the day. And usually the doctors are there during the day, so we just have to write it down on like the sheet that like when the doctors come in, they open that book, they read the book, and they read our notes, and then they go see all the patients that we write down. So I usually just also write it down in there so that the doctor knows to go check out that person when they come the next day. Have you ever lied to a patient about the pills you were giving them? No, I've never lied to a patient. Why would you lie to a patient about the pills you're giving them? They literally have the right to know. That goes against their rights. And if a nurse or a doctor was giving me something, I would want to know what the hell they're putting in my body. So no, I do not lie to my patients about the pills that I'm giving them. I tell them like, this is what you're getting. And they usually just take it. And most of them, like I said, it's a long-term care facility, so they've been on these meds for like 20 plus years. That like they know what they're taking. It's the same thing every day. Like it's never really anything new, unless they get like a UTI or like some type of infection, and then the doctor prescribes like antibiotics for a certain amount of days. But usually their pills are always the same. Have you ever ignored a patient asking you for pain meds because you thought they were lying about being in pain? Now, sometimes I see patients and a lot of the times they get very like dependent or very like OCD about the pills that they're getting. There's this one lady, like 5 o'clock on the dot, as soon as she sees me like come anywhere near the dining room with the cart, she's the first person, do you have my pills? Like some of them become very, very OCD about their pills, and then they start asking for pills that they don't necessarily need. If a patient tells me that they're in pain, like I try to take their word for it, but I always start off with natural things that I can do first. So if a person tells me that they have pain, like I'll try cold compress or something. And it's funny because I said cold compress in a video, and somebody told me that they needed a doctor's order to put cold compress on somebody's leg or to put cold compress anywhere. And that's like really weird to me. You do not need a doctor's order to put cold compress on anybody. Well, at least where I live. The only thing is like a doctor might write a note to not do this and that and this and that, and then okay, you can't do it because the doctor specifically asked for you not to do it. But if that's not indicated anywhere, you can use natural remedies. Remedies, like I'm not gonna come like to work with herbs and start making like all types of creams and stuff, but like I start with cold compress or and then like I'll work my way up, like give them Tylenol and see how that works. And if they're still in pain, then if they have something prescribed PRN that's like a bit stronger, then I'll give it to them. But I don't like just run and like give narcotics like that. I don't like giving narcotics like that because I know like the side effects that narcotics can have. So I try to opt for like the other stuff first before I even get to that step. But I never usually like reject a patient like if they tell me that they're in pain. Like if you're in pain, you're in pain. I'll give you a Tylenol and I'll see how it works, right? And a lot of the time, sometimes they forget that they even told you that they were in pain, and then you see them walking just fine, talking just fine, whereas you just went in the room 10 minutes ago and they were like, crying that they were in pain. So if I see them walking and stuff and they don't complain about any pain after I give them the Tylenol, well, I'm assuming that you're not in pain anymore, and I'm not gonna come and bring up the narcotic to you again. I'm not gonna bring up that discussion. Have you ever had a relationship with a coworker? No, never. I never had a relationship with a coworker, and I don't intend on having a relationship with a coworker. I just cannot stand, you can't just be in my face 24/7. Like we're at work together, we're at home together, we're outside together. I need some space. I just could not handle dating a coworker. Forget that. Ooh, have you ever had sex with somebody while on the job? No. Like my professional life is my professional life, and my personal life is my personal life. Like no, not on the job. Like, come on, y'all. Like, apparently, like, I've heard a lot of people saying that, like, they caught people, you know, having sex, like, in different parts of the hospital. How? I don't know. But me personally, no. Like, no. I barely even want to talk to anybody when I get to work, much less than have sex with them. No, thank you. What's the most annoying thing that patients do? I cannot stand a patient who is call bell happy. Okay? Like, ringing every 3 seconds, ringing, and then you go into the room and nothing is wrong with them. Sometimes you go in the room and they like forgot that they even call you, or you go in the room and they're just like, yeah, like, fix the bottom of the sheet for me, it's wrinkled, I want it straight. Or fix this for me, like something random, and it's like, lady or mister, I have work to do. Like, stop calling me unless it's an emergency. I cannot stand call bell happy people, because like they delay you, and they're delaying, a lot of the times they're delaying you for nothing. If you were ringing the call bell because you actually need my help, I am there to help you. That's what I'm there for. But if you're just ringing the call bell, wasting my time, then we have a problem. How do you work with a nurse you don't get along with? Literally, I come into work, I do what I have to do, and I get out. Like, I'm not, like, if I don't get along with you or whatever, we're not there to get along. We're not there to be buddies. Like, obviously, it's nice to have, you know, a good relationship with your coworkers. It makes the environment a lot more comfortable, I guess. Me personally, I don't give a damn. I really don't. Like, I come into work, even if I know that you don't like me, or not too fond of me, or I'm not too fond of you, I will still speak to you with respect. I will still be professional. Hi, this is what happened last night. Like, if I'm giving a report, or if I'm working with you or whatever, like, I'll communicate with you when I need to communicate with you. If I don't need to speak to you, then I don't. But if I'm going for lunch and you're the one covering me, well, I'll tell you what you need to know, and I'll just do what I have to do, and I go home. That's it. We're not at work to make friends, y'all. Like, I'm not at work to make friends, straight up. Have you ever blown up and put a coworker in check after a long time of enduring their annoying ways and not being able to take it anymore? Yes. I hate a power tripper, and a lot of nurses tend to be power trippers. This hasn't happened during my time as a nurse. Like, I haven't been a nurse for long. You guys, I just graduated in July. So, but when I was a CNA, I did blow up on a nurse. And the only reason why I blew up on her was because I low-key knew I was finishing school soon, and I was just like, look, like, I'm not here for a long time anymore. And I just couldn't take it. Like, she would just power trip. You know those people who get a little bit of power and then they don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to, like, they literally feel like they do not need to respect you, and I just was not having it. Like, she was yelling at people, talking to people with attitude, and I had to tell her, like, look, me and you are coworkers. Like, we are coworkers. You are not my mother, my auntie. Like, you don't know me from no place, and you have no business talking to me like that. Straight up. Go report me to the head nurse. And she reported me to the head nurse, and I told the head nurse, like, look, she does not know how to talk to people. She needs to learn how to talk to people. She's not respectful. She's rude as hell. And, you know, the head nurse was kind of like, yeah, like, you do have, like, you know, a certain tone sometimes or whatever, and that might make people uncomfortable. Nothing happened to me. But at the end of the day, like, you shouldn't be out here taking disrespect from nobody. Like, that's straight up. Me personally, like, I'm very respectful, but I'm very fiery at the same time. So, like, when you start pushing it a little bit too much, like, I get to the point where I have to say something. And you don't have to say it in a rude way, but, like, say it. Just because they're a nurse and you're a CNA, or just because, you know, their position is higher than yours, doesn't mean that they get to talk to you like you ain't nobody. Like, come on. Have you ever taken something from a patient who is deceased or incapacitated? No. Like, that's a big no for me. Do nurses really eat their young, or have you ever been one of those nurses? I haven't been a nurse long enough for that. Like, usually, and nurses do eat their young, but the nurses who eat their young are just, like, burnt out, tired, miserable nurses who've been in the field for, like, too damn long, and they just, like, hate the shit. they hate their job, and so they come to work and they take it out on you. That's really what like nurses who eat their young are. But no, like when new nurses come in and I have to train them, like I said, it's one nurse per shift. I've been working at my facility for a little while now, so I have trained people because I work mainly nights. There's only 2 of us who work night shifts, and we split the days of the week. So whenever we have a new nurse who's like coming in to be on the recall list, I train them. And like I said, I was just in nursing school, so I remember what it's like to be new. Like, I just started at this job. I know what it's like to be new, and I don't want to treat nobody like trash. Have you ever made a CNA or a tech clean up something you didn't want to do? No. I've usually, like, the CNAs work really, really well. Like, the CNAs that I work with, they work really well, and they work, like, as a team. So, like, it never, like, everything is always clean. But if I do, like, rarely see something that needs to be cleaned, I just clean it. Like, or if somebody needs to be changed, I just change them unless I'm like really overloaded with work and I really cannot do it. Then I'll say like, hey, you know, like I would give a hand. But I don't think they take offense like when I ask them to do it, because they know that if I had the time to do it, I would. Because I was a CNA for 2 years. Like, I recently graduated from nursing school. I literally quit my CNA job like 3 weeks ago. So go check out that video. I'll leave a link to that video on why I quit the hospital. But I was a CNA, so I know what it feels like, and I hated those nurses who were just like airheads and who thought that they were just too good to do the dirty work. So they were just all out here calling all the CNAs, you do this, you do this, you do this. I hated those CNAs, and I vowed to myself that I would never be like that. So no, if I see something that needs to be clean and I have the time to clean it, I clean it. But it's not, but if I don't clean it, it's literally because I don't have the time, not because I don't want to. Have you ever witnessed a patient being abused by a coworker? Thank God, no. Thank God, no. Because like, no, I just don't want to, no. I don't want to see that, and I don't even want to have to deal with like seeing it. Because personally, nah, I just can't deal with it. But no, I have not. Have you ever been called into the office because a patient reported you? I've been called by the director, not because a patient reported me, because a patient's daughter reported me. Quick story, she basically came with a medication. She put a medication in this box for her mom, and her mom wasn't on the list of people that we give medications to every day. So basically she had a medication that she had to take for a certain period of time, and she wanted the nurses to give it. However, there was no prescription or anything. She had a prescription, I think she had a prescription from like outside or something. But one of the protocols at our facility is that like whatever prescription has to be reviewed by our doctors before we start giving it, just because sometimes they get prescribed a medication by another doctor and the doctor doesn't necessarily have the full list of medications that they're already on, and there might be some type of contraindication where like 2 medications can't be mixed, and then medication errors happen, and then everybody's screwed. So I didn't give the medication. I left a note for the day nurse so that she could call the doctor and have him review the prescription and approve the prescription so we can start giving it. And she was mad about that and reported me. But I did not get in trouble. And last question, name something that coworkers do that annoy you. Y'all, gossip. I hate it. I hate gossip. Let me tell you, the nursing field is like high school. A nurse will be talking crap to you about another nurse, and then she will go talk crap to that same other nurse she was talking shit about to you. She's gonna go to that nurse and talk crap about you. Like, I've seen it happen. I've caught people red-handed like so many times talking crap about me, but like I'm just such, like, honestly, like I said, I'm not there to make friends, so I don't really care. But one thing though, like, don't fall into the gossip, because then they take what you say, go tell somebody else, twist up the story, and next thing you know, like, you know, there's this big problem, or you're being called into the office because like people are saying that you started some rumor that you didn't start, or something dumb like that. So like, honestly, avoid the gossip. Like, I hate it when you know, you go into the break room and it's just like a clan of nurses just like gossiping about like doctors or about anybody. Don't fall into the trap of gossip. Like I said it again. I said it again and again, and I'm gonna say it one more time. Don't fall into the trap or the drama or the none of that. I know sometimes, you know, as nurses, we work a lot. Our lives tend to get a little bit boring, and then, you know, we feel the need to spice it up some, like, another way. Go on a date. Like, go on a date, like, go skydiving, like, go spice up your life that way outside. But don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into the trap, because I'm telling you, like, it can cause like problems later on, and you just avoid it. Anyways, y'all, that is the end of the video. Now y'all know that I'm not that nurse, because no, I do what I need to do when I get out. But like I said, this is a video collaboration with your favorite nurse B. I'm going to tag 2 nurses, and that is Christian Renee and Very Vanessa, to do this tag. So y'all, if you guys are subscribed to them, go subscribe to them and go comment under their video that Kiara tagged them in the Are You That Nurse tag, and tell them to make the video too. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.